win, but some of the scores would suggest that you guys have kind of sacrificed a little bit in those games to get this money. Is it starting to feel like it's worth it now, not just from the experience, but also from the checks that you can have a solid Division I facility?
Well, it's important. It's important for us to provide the best we can for those that are entrusted into our care. And for me, it's the young men that have invested into our football program. And I want to say thank you first and foremost to everybody that's ever donned a football uniform at Charleston Southern University, because everything that's occurred to this point in time and will occur in the future has been built on the backs of some very good men and some very supportive parents and administrators, faculty, and staff as well too. So it's nice that it's been part of a team effort to get to this goal, and we're not finished yet. We believe we're only just begun.
You have to have facilities to compete, even at the FCS level. You look at Coastal Carolina's facility, and you have even what the Citadel did with that one side of the stadium. You have to have facilities to compete in football and in major college athletics, and obviously you guys are taking a step forward now.
Well, I think that's been one of the things that, as we've gone over the course of the years, is we've put a lot of time, effort, and energy into it. And the young men that have played, that have enabled us to play these games, there's been multiple things we've tried to get out of these games. Part of it has been financial to lead towards the facilities. The facilities are obviously very important. At the same point in time, we have other things that we try to do with our games. It's partly ministry and mission work as well too, as we're trying to share the vision of the university of integrating faith with learning, leading, and serving to everybody we come in contact with, and to do that on a national basis. This has afforded us this opportunity. It's been a great opportunity for young men to be able to play at a major college level because they dream of doing that. It's been a great opportunity to grow our program and compare our program and develop it to another height, because we're playing against the upper echelon teams as well too. So I think it's benefited in many different aspects, many different ways, and for that we're very fortunate and grateful, and we're off to 2 more this fall.
Looking at the way this season, as you come into this season, looking back at last season, with the way things have gone until last season, you guys were building and you were looking like one of the solid programs in the Big South. How hard was last season for you as the head coach to see the program take a step backwards when it comes to the win-loss record?
Well, it was disappointing. There's those controllable factors and uncontrollable factors, and we of course had some things that we couldn't control, namely the injuries we had at the key positions, and it really exposes you at the FCS level. You're already short on the number of scholarships when compared to FBS schools, but then when you have key individuals get hurt, it just accents those issues as well too. But one season does not a career or a program make, and one quarter and so forth does not a game make. So those things that hurt instruct, is what Benjamin Franklin said. So we've lost battles in our country's history, but have won the war. We've lost battles in games here, and we're in the process of continuing to win that war. So I believe that it instructed us. I believe that you take the good with those things that maybe aren't as cherished, but in the long run, all those things work out to the benefit of the individual in life experiences, as well as to the team as opportunities to grow in the program. So I believe we took good steps forward, not in spite of, but including the leathering that happened last year.
But you have a young team that comes back for this season. Just talk about the challenges you face in trying to make sure you guys stay competitive in the Big South, and obviously in those first 2 games as well with a very young squad.
Well, our goal has never changed. It's always been about excellence and pursuing excellence regardless of what the age of the squad is. We are very young coming into this year, but we didn't look at the seasons we had 4-game winning streaks at the end as something that carried over to the following year. Every year is completely different. I mean, you can look at every level of athletics that there is. Nobody saw the Dallas Mavericks winning the NBA championship as an example. The year that Tampa Bay and Oakland go to the Super Bowl, the next year they don't make the playoffs. So each year is independent, and that's one of the things that's exciting about athletics, is it can come from anyone, anytime, anywhere. So I like our chances of fielding a good football team this year. We've got to grow up and mature in leadership, mature in responsibility. I believe we'll be a good team, and it's a matter of just when, not if.
Who becomes your playmaker or playmakers to kind of lessen the burden on the team as you lose Gerald Stevenson, who was not just your playmaker, but one of the best playmakers ever in the Big South?
Well, he was a tremendous football player, but before him there was Maurice Price and Colin Drafts, and and that's what happens in good, stable football programs. Is we have some new faces coming up. I think there'll be a few that will surprise some people, but I think overall what our team's benefited from is there's not marquee names, so there's got to be a football team by committee, so to speak. I think our depth is as strong as it's ever been, and so we hope that in waves we're going to have good football played and maybe more depth than we had last year come out this coming season.
Finally, Coach, about the running game, it's never been the consistent part. You've had great offenses in the past, but you've never had that 1,000-yard rusher or that offense that could just pound it out on the ground and get those 3 or 4 yards when you had to. Is there a sense that at some point you guys are going to try and get those players, that offensive line, ready for that this could be a team that does something like that game in, game out?
I think football does come down to the trenches, and you got to be able to stop the run, which we did not do successfully last year. We got to be able to run the football, which we did not do successfully last year. And you got to be able to do it more than just utilizing your quarterback as well too, because of the physical nature of the season, and particularly opponents we play as well. So it's been an emphasis in our off season. The year before last, we had the second highest rushing total in the school history, 8 yards short, but we were playing people such as Florida at that point in time. It's a very difficult opponent. So, but we have not had stability year in, year out. I'm hoping that this year